Well, here's the video on putting the gas tank in, and I wish it was this simple. You just roll it in under here like this and pump it up in place. Like that. But unfortunately it's not, because now I got to figure out how to put holes in there to drill this flange in, to bolt this flange in. And I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet, and I've been figuring on it for a little bit. So I'll bring you back when I've got that figured out, okay? I have a plan, and part of the plan is using these bolt straps as a pattern to drill the holes in the frame so the bolt can go through the frame and the flange on the gas tank and screw into this pattern or this bolt strip. Unfortunately, or fortunately, one way or another, they're handmade, so they're not exactly the same. They're not completely symmetrical, and the nuts that are welded to the strips aren't exactly in the same spot. So what I want to do is mark the left one and the right one so that I'm not going to mix them up when I drill the holes. And what I have here is a stamp, and I'll take the stamp, and it's an R for right. It's probably not the way to do it, but I end up with an imprint of an R. And I put several of them in the arm just to make sure that I can see it, because the left one is in an area where there's some rust right now. And I will powder coat these before I put them in finally, sandblast and powder coat. But here, I'll show you what the R came out like. So you can see I got 4 R's there. That way I won't lose track of it. Well, I drilled the holes the wrong way on that side. I drilled the holes in the frame first for this bolt strip that holds the tank in. And now I have no way of transferring the holes from the frame to the tank on that side. So I'm going to have to make a template or something to figure that out. Arthur will come and save me. So to avoid doing that on this side, what I'm going to do is I have the tank up in place and held in place by a motorcycle jack, and I'm going to drill through the tank and the frame at the same time, using this to get me the correct spacing for the bolts. Now the only concern is that there are some pre-existing holes in the frame, and I don't want to end up straddling a hole. So if I stay close to the tank and about an inch back from the edge, I should be okay. First thing I got to do is punch. That'll be good for aluminum. I don't see it. I feel it, but I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it. So we got to drill that hole. One pilot hole. Next is 3/8 for the bolt size. Move away so the shavings don't get in the face. Oh. What the heck? Oh. battery's dead. Let's set the next one. Now what I've done is I've taken the bolt and screwed it into this nut strip, and I'll stick it up in the hole, and then I'll punch the center punch this bolt hole, and I'll drill that next. So what I'm doing is I'm scoring it in aluminum. I can see it, and now I can punch it. Nice. What I have here is the plate that they provide with nuts welded on the back side to put inside the frame so that you can run bolts up through the tank and up through the frame. The trick is to get all the holes to line up. So I've gotten 2 holes drilled now, and the way I'm going to find the 3rd hole is I put bolts in the first 2 holes, and I'll stick them up in the 2 holes that I've got and center punch this one back here, and that way all 3 bolts will be in exactly the right spot. Okay. What I've done is screwed 3 bolts into this strip of metal that they welded the nuts onto, and those 3 bolts should fit up through the 3 holes that we just drilled through the frame and the tank. So let's see if that happens. Perfect. What we have to do now is put this inside the frame, line up all these holes, and start bolts into this strip. But I want to powder coat this first. And we got to fix the other side also. So let's fix the other side. By fixing the other side, I need to bolt this side in. So let's bolt this side in as if we were going to do it for real. And then we're going to have to finagle over there, and I think we can do it, but I'll come back when I'm ready for that. I'll show you that, what I did. What I'm trying to do here is correct an error. And I think I've said this earlier, is on that side, what I did is I put the tank up in position and drilled through the tank and the frame. And on this side, what I did is drilled the frame. And now I have no way of transferring the hole from the frame to the tank. The tank sits up against the frame, and this is almost like a box chamber here. However, there is a little slot here, and what I'm going to try to do is mark the holes on the tank. I can see the holes on the frame, so maybe I can mark the aluminum tank. Oh, that worked good. That worked really well. Now, because of the angle, the hole isn't going to be in exactly the right spot, but I can make that hole just a little bit larger and put it in the spot, and it should work out perfect. Now what I have to do is take the tank back down, unbolt that side, let the jack down, let the tank down, and I could clearly see I was marking the aluminum flange on the tank, and it won't be exactly the right spot because this was at an angle when I was scribing it. So the hole is going to be slightly off to one side, but I think if I recenter the punch just a little bit, make a judgment, we'll be all right. All right, so let's take the tank down. Let's see what we got. So here's the markings I got. There's 1, 2, and 3. So those aren't too bad. I think if I drill those holes, we'll be all right. What I'm doing here is chamfering the holes. Okay, if we're lucky, this will go up fairly easily. Hopefully the holes will line up, or be at least close. All right, I see holes there. Oh, you know what? I see holes. I do see holes, and they look pretty lined up. I'm amazed. Well, let's see if the bolt will go up through. It sure as heck does. That one goes. That one goes. Oh, this one's not so happy, but it goes too. They all go. So the next thing to do is to put the tank all the way in here, put all the bolts in, and then if that all works, we'll take the bolt strips, I don't know what to call them, back out and we'll powder coat them, and then we'll put it back in for real. This is the side that we had to calculate where the holes were, and it looks pretty good. What I got to do is get that bolt, that nut strip lined up with the holes. These are just regular hardware grade bolts, grade 5. I'll have to replace them with the grade 8s later on. Okay, there's one. There's 2. And there's 3. They fit nicely. And I didn't have to enlarge any holes. I'm amazed that that lined up that well. So the crowning thing is we got to take the jack away. So we got to take the jack away. And we have our aluminum tank inserted between the frame rails at the rear of the pickup, and the holes line up real nice. I got to take the strips back out and powder coat, but so far as this tank install, it's done. All the holes are lining up, all the bolts are lined up, so there'll be more.